Okay, now on to the Nobel Prizes for this year. So you must be familiar with this woman. She is none other than Nargis Mohammadi, NARGES. So what is her claim to fame? She is a human rights activist. She's a woman activist. She has fought against oppression of women in Iran, and she has strived for promotion of human rights and freedom for all. So she is right now incarcerated in this very notorious prison of Iran. Its name is called Even. Evin, sorry, not Even, it's Evin. Evin prison is very notorious and it is considered as a Guantanamo of Iran. So she has been suffering there both physically as well as mentally, but she has been fighting it out. Um, she has been a voice of reason, voice of women, uh, status of women in Iran. So she has been, her work has been recognized in this regard. And is she the first woman from Iran in this genre to get a Nobel Prize? The answer is no. Can you recall who was the first to get on this, get a Nobel Peace Prize from Iran? In 2004, a lady called Shirin Ebadi. She got it, and she is a student of, or she is part of that organization which Shirin Ebadi is established. So, what can you extrapolate from this fact or from this event? It is that Iran has a human rights issue. Iran has a women issue. There are the status of women or the condition of women post the 1979 Islamic Revolution of Iran has been something of a concern. But at the same time, you should be also mindful of this fact because this Nobel Peace Prize has been quite, you can say, politicized because it is seen by many in the actually those opposing the West for countries like Russia, for countries like Iran, they see it uh, as a Western propaganda to promote dissent among these countries. Last year, in fact, the organization working for human rights in Ukraine and Russia that was part of the or that was awarded. So similarly, people in Chinese prison has been or in Russian prison were part of the alumni or laureate in literature, and so the the fact that this award is something which has a Western bias is well established. But at the same time, you should be aware of the fact that what she is suffering is real. She is in a prison. She has been in a prison and she will be in a prison for quite a long time. She has been separated from her family. Her children and her husband is right now in France. They are like she has no chance. I think what I read was like in 2015 was the last time she met them. So you can well imagine the mental trauma that she might be facing. And on top of that, she is still struggling. She's still giving interviews or writing on the issues facing Iran or facing the women in Iran and people in general, the human rights issues that are faced there. So her effort on ground is really commendable, and this is a recognition of this fact. So, for example, point of view, again, this is since it is related to this aspect, so that women empowerment aspect that comes into picture. Her name is important, then Shirin Ibadi becomes important, and also the fact that what is your opinion on the fact that uh, is there any Western bias in giving these awards? So those aspects can be uh, explored in the interview. Now, the next, this lady is, her name is Claudia Golden. So she got it for economics this time. So why she is important? Because the topic that she dealt with is something very important for India. We see every day we see issues on this. In fact, today, that is 26th of October, in the Hindu, there is big articles coming on this issue itself. Why there is gender gap, or her topic, to be very clear or to go in a very systematic way, I will tell you, her topic is, or her work is based on women's role in job market. Okay, so why is it important, especially for India? And see, what you might be very, you can say in a very immature way, you can say that conclusions she draws are merely conclusions which anybody can come up. But the work that she has gone, or the effort she has gone to arrive at those conclusions, are really commendable. In fact, you will, I don't know, the amount of effort that requires while doing such huge data analysis. She did a lot of data analysis. In fact, she trawled the archives of USA covering 200 years. She trawled 200 years of archives to arrive at certain conclusions. So it's not like merely 10-year or 15-year data she is referring to. She has referred to 200 years of data to analyze why the role of women in job market is not equal to that of men. There is a clear gender gap, both in terms of opportunities as well as in terms of pay. So this fact, she has analyzed it in her book that was originally published in 1990s, and there she extrapolated certain conclusions based on her deep research on data covering 200 years. So it is a humongous work that she has undertaken, and that's why her work is rightfully awarded. So right now, what I want to, why is it relevant for India? So India also, we see we see a term, labor force participation rate. What is the meaning of this term? It is also, its acronym is LFPR. So LFPR means it is the share of the working age population. What is the working age population? Generally, it is considered as 15 plus. Okay, so 15 plus, and the share of the population that is 15 plus that is employed or unemployed. That means you are willing or looking for it, looking for a job. That means all those people who are in a job, or all those people who are looking for a job. You will, from common sense, you might think that every person is looking for a job. At least 15 plus years, everybody should look for a job. That is the common idea. But you will be surprised. What is the percentage of Indians who are even asking for a job? It's merely 39.5% of the whole 15 plus years working population. So even 60% are even not asking for a job. Maybe there are issues of data collection that is there. So keeping that error aside, you can add 10% to it. Still, it is quite a humongous number. In fact, countries like China, they have 60-70% LFPR. And on top of this, the problem is that the number of female, it is quite low. Actually, when you, it was merely like it was 30% plus in the last decade. Now it has come down to around 24% for female. Whereas world over, it is over 40%. In fact, among BRICS country, India has the lowest LFPR. China has the highest. Actually, China women LFPR is 61%. So just imagine the scenario that only 24 out of 100 girls within the age group of 15 plus are even willing to work. Out of them, some will be in the work, but rest, that means 76 are even not willing to work. So you can imagine why this scenario is such. And she has analyzed, or she has worked on this phenomena, that why there is such a skewed women ratio in the job market. And on top of that, there is a big gender pay gap. For the same amount of work, and the money that a man receives, that is quite more compared to what a woman can expect to receive. And so what we have certain assumptions regarding women employment which she has busted. Like, general presumption is that, if say this is the graph for economic growth and this is the graph for women empowerment. No, let me reverse it. Economic growth, employment of women. So it is presumed that this graph should be linear. What does it mean? Like, if there is economic growth, there should be proportionate increase in employment of women. But in reality, it is found that this graph is U-shaped. What does it mean? It means that as economy grows, there is proportionately decline in women's employment. Why? Because again, there are societal reasons to it. As the family income grows, there is less tendency of the woman to work out, because she has double burden. She has to do the household work also. So once the family income grows, she feels, or she is made to feel, that her homework is more important than her work at outside. So as economy grows, there is a tendency that women employment decreases. And then as it grows further, then that, when affluency really happens, when economic growth really happens to that level, then obviously it creates incentive for mechanization of housework, mechanization of other you can say, less important works. So that leads to more employment of women. So this is one important finding that she has extrapolated from her data, and this is true even for a country like India. And remember, there is a structural change in economy that is happening in India. It has happened world over. Structural change means, from a agricultural economy, we went to a limited industrial phase, and then to a service sector economy. So in agriculture, there was, obviously, we are familiar with the term feminization of labor, of agriculture, sorry. So that means agriculture, the majority women are employed. But when it shifted to industries, when it shifts to industry, it leads to lesser number of jobs. Then when service sector comes, then it again open up jobs. So it is synchronized with this idea that when agriculture to industry happens, there is growth, but employment reduces, and then service sector, it picks up. So such findings are some of, or few of her extrapolations, or few of her findings from her deep work that she has done. And besides it, while analyzing why there is a gender gap, she has said that there is this role of education. So at a very young age, the girl is deciding on her extent of education, or on her, or like how far she will go in terms of education. So if it is limited, then her potential to get better pay in the future, or better paying jobs in the future, reduces. And then obviously there is the issue of marriage as a there is a marriage penalty on the earning potential of a girl or a woman. Then childbirth is an issue. There is a maternity penalty. So that leads to reduced scope for participation of her in the workforce. So all those things are explored in her work. Why it is important for India? Because this problem we are also facing, really, like, this is a problem that we are facing. So the female labor force participation rate is quite low in India, compared even to other South Asian or other BRICS countries. South Asia will be like, there will be doing well, because our competition is with Pakistan, Bangladesh, those countries you can forget. But among similarly placed countries, say BRICS countries, so there also we are the bottom. So we need to work on that. And the fact that this topic has got the Nobel Prize, or she has been awarded for her work on this, is a testimony to the fact that we should again look for it, and you might be asked on this area in your interview. Like you might not be asked about very nitty gritty of it, but the general topic about it, and what do you think, or why do you think there is a gender pay gap, or why do you think there is less number of women willing to work? So all those things, motherhood penalty, marriage penalty, role of education, all those things will come to your rescue. So with that, we conclude this topic, and the topic on women, the three main topics on women that I was planning to discuss with you. In the next upcoming class, we will discuss on other topics like what Supreme Court said on same-sex marriage, and then certain geopolitical changes that is happening in our neighborhood like Maldives. So all those things are important for your interview. So till we meet next time, thank you.